Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news about the windstorm yesterday. We'll bring you presidential polling news. We'll bring you information from the Ridgecrest Police Department, gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake. This is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Wennick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Well, the big news from yesterday was the big windstorm that hit our area and areas south of us. Yesterday, the incoming storm wreaked havoc on our local freeways. At about 9 a.m. yesterday morning, Route 14 between Lancaster and Mojave got shut down. Both north and southbound lanes were completely closed down. Numerous 18-wheeler trucks got blown over by the high winds. Mojave Airport was reporting winds steady at about 70 miles per hour, with gusts around 85 miles per hour. The Mojave Airport also had a roof blown off of one of its hangars there. Reports were that as many as 20 big rigs were blown over. Route 14 was finally reopened around 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon. My daughter was caught in the closure. She was trying to get here from LA and had to turn around and go back. In addition to Route 14 being closed, Route 58 through Tehachapi also had a temporary closure. And Route 178 from Walker Pass to Lake Isabel is still closed right now. Route 395 north of Olancha was also closed due to a flash flood. So we got hit hard yesterday. Today's road conditions have Route 14 open, but still have high winds that are due to diminish during the day. High-profile vehicles are not recommended. Route 395 is also open and clear with the same wind cautions all the way to Mammoth Lakes. Route 178 is also closed between Kern Canyon to Bakersfield. It is closed due to rock and mudslides. No estimate of the reopening yet. Route 58 is open and clear, but also has the high wind warnings for campers and big rig trailers. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll get a report from Lane, our weather guy, about what's coming up for the Christmas holiday. The CHP is recommending everyone to check their website for road closures before heading out during this storm. From the Ridgecrest Police Department, we get this report of a sexual battery crime. On December 20th at approximately 12:45 hours, Ridgecrest Police responded to the Dollar General store to investigate a reported sexual battery. On arrival, the victim told officers she was waiting in line at the cash register to purchase some items. While the victim was facing forward, a black male adult walked up behind the victim and ran his fingers up her buttocks in a purposeful manner. The victim turned around and was surprised to see someone she did not recognize. The suspect stared at her, walked towards the front door, turned, and stared at the victim again, and then slowly walked back behind her and lingered. The suspect eventually walked out to a green Chevrolet Cavalier. The suspect entered the passenger seat of the Cavalier, which was driven away by a female. A volunteer chaplain for the Ridgecrest Police Department observed what occurred and followed the Cavalier to Walgreens. While an RPD officer reviewed the video footage at Dollar General, the remaining officers responded to Walgreens and located the Cavalier. Using the information provided by the victim, witness, and video, the officers located the suspect who matched the clothing and physical description. The suspect was identified as 36-year-old Ridgecrest resident Jeffrey Fuller. Fuller was arrested for sexual battery and taken into custody. The driver of the vehicle was identified as Ridgecrest resident Cammie Sanders. Sanders initially provided a false name, but was quickly identified by veteran officers. Sanders was arrested on an outstanding warrant, providing false information to a peace officer, and driving without a license. Fuller was booked into the local Kern County Jail, while Sanders was cited and released on her misdemeanor offenses. If anyone has questions, please call Ridgecrest Police Department at 760-499-5100 or send a Facebook message to the Ridgecrest Police Department Facebook page or contact us on our tip page. Well, in the latest about the turmoil in the presidential campaigns, we get the latest polls. Yesterday, Quinnipiac released a new Republican poll that showed the gap between Trump and Cruz closing. Yet this morning, CNN has released a poll showing a much wider gap between them. Yesterday's Quinnipiac poll had Trump at 28% and Cruz at 24%, followed by Rubio at 12%, Carson at 10%, and Christie at 6%. Now today's CNN poll shows these numbers where Trump is at 39%, Cruz at 18%, followed by Rubio at 10, Carson at 10, and Christie at 5%. So the numbers continue to be all over the place. There was even a report by a newspaper yesterday that possibly Trump has more support than the numbers show. They assert that many people that will vote for Trump are not willing to share that with their phone pollsters. In the Democrat race to the White House, we got this poll. Yesterday's Quinnipiac poll showed Clinton at 60%, to Sanders at 30%, and O'Malley at 2%. So this poll shows Clinton increasing her lead over Sanders, even with his good debate performance last Saturday night. He has dropped a little bit. Rasmussen poll showed a much tighter race. It showed Clinton at 47%, to Sanders at 30%, and O'Malley at 7%. And in Obama's approval rating, today's Quinnipiac poll shows his approval rating at 44%, to a 52% disapproval rating. And in news about the next Republican debate, the Huffington Post is quoting that Fox Business Network will set new criteria for the next candidate debate. The new criteria will set the stage for still having 2 debates, but limit the top-tier debate to only 6 candidates. According to debate criteria that will be announced, host Fox Business Network will consider both early state and national poll results in deciding which candidates make the primetime forum. That main debate will feature candidates who place in the top 6 nationally based on an average of the 5 most recent national polls recognized by Fox News, or placed within the top 5 based on an average of the 5 most recent Iowa or New Hampshire state polls recognized by the network. Fox Business Network has announced that its next debate is scheduled to take place in Charleston, South Carolina on January 14th. It's interesting to note that the Democratic National Committee has not accepted any of Fox's invites to have a debate on their network. Yet, the Republicans have happily appeared on the left-leaning channels many times already. Could it be the Democrats are afraid of real serious debate questions from a fair and balanced network? Anyway, the new debate field would be good news for Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Ben Carson, Marco Rubio, Chris Christie, and even Jeb Bush. But the candidates on the lower tier will surely feel like they are being pushed out of the race. The one that gets bumped down that disappoints me the most is Fiorina. She has always been clear, powerful, and on target with good positions on ideas. But for some reason, she just hasn't resonated with a lot of people. Anyway, clearly the Republican field has to be brought down to a reasonable number. With so many candidates, they all have to fight for time to offer their positions on issues. Now stay with us for news about a mysterious light in the sky last night. Thanks for staying with us. Did you see the mysterious light in the sky last night? Many people from Las Vegas to Southern California reported a bright light streaking across the night sky last night. Military officials say a streak of light seen burning across the sky by people in 3 western states was debris from a Russian rocket re-entering the atmosphere. U.S. Strategic Command spokeswoman Julie Zeigenhorn says the fireball seen over Arizona, Nevada, and California in the Tuesday night sky was an SL-4 rocket body booster from Russia that was launched Monday. Dozens of people took to the social media to share videos and photos and marvel at the white fireball flying through the sky that some described as a shooting star. Others wondered if it was a meteor breaking up on re-entry or space debris from a falling satellite. NASA tracks over 16,000 pieces of space debris all the time, watching for the re-entry of large space trash. Anyway, it wasn't a comet. Someone even thought it might be Santa making a practice run in preparation for Christmas Eve. Maybe it was. It was quite a sight, though. Anyway, in a real shocker story, yesterday some news stations were showing a near-miss catastrophe on a downhill slope ski race in Italy over the weekend. One competitor was racing down the hill at an extremely fast speed. TV footage showed a drone slamming into the ground right behind him as he was racing downhill. And I mean it slammed into the ground. It maybe just missed hitting the competitor by a second. The results could have been terrible for the skier. The skier never did see it though, so he finished the race and even came in second place. As for the drone, he would have never seen it coming and would have had no chance to prepare for a collision. Officials are now considering new restrictions on drones over these events. And in another ski report, have you heard that some skiers are now wearing new protective clothing when they ski? The new clothing has mini airbags built right into the jackets they wear. The suit has sensors that can determine if the skier is falling or not, even with the abrupt maneuvers they have to go through in a competition. The suit can sense when it should be deployed. Apparently, a skier was wearing one in a recent competition that did deploy correctly and in a fall, and it helped protect the competitor from serious injury. The only drawback is some skiers don't want to weigh themselves down with the heavier suit. In a race that is sometimes determined by hundredths of a second, the extra weight could slow down a skier. But safety people believe that this new suit can and will be able to save many competitors from serious injuries on the slopes. Skiers often reach speeds of 80 miles per hour on the slopes. We'll have to see how skiers accept these new inventions. Now here's a Christmas announcement from the Knights of Columbus annual free community dinner. On Christmas Day, December 25th, they will once again provide a free community Christmas dinner. The dinner will be at the Knights of Columbus Hall, 725 West Ridgecrest Boulevard, right here in Ridgecrest. If anyone is homebound, you can call for a free meal delivery. Please call them to arrange meal delivery between 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. What a wonderful thing to do for the needy in the community. They report that they did over 600 meals last year. They joined the many other churches and service clubs providing help to those in need. For a free home-delivered meal, call the Knights at 760-375-8901, and the dinner goes from noon to 4 p.m. Well, in local news from the Daily Independent, we get news of an editorial change. John Bennett is returning to the Daily as the managing editor. He has been the editor of the Rocketeer on the Naval Air Weapons Station for 2 years. John is a longtime resident from Ridgecrest and a graduate of Burroughs High School. Also returning to the area is Jack Barnwell. He had worked for the Daily for a couple years before leaving the area. He now returns to manage the Rocketeer. Barnwell returns to Ridgecrest after working for papers in Tehachapi and South Lake Tahoe. Welcome back, John and Jack. Now in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, since my last report on Monday, gas prices are again steady. Local prices are now showing a 2-cent drop of $2.61 per gallon for the low. But in prices in other areas we monitor, we see a slight increase again. Lancaster prices just jumped up 4 cents per gallon to be 8 cents higher than here in Ridgecrest. That's good news as we head towards the Christmas holiday. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $2.61 to $2.99 a gallon. Lancaster from $2.69 to $2.94. The LA Valley area $2.57 to $2.69. And the Bishop area $2.71 to $2.99. We only have 2 stations at the $2.61 amount. I hope this isn't an indication of prices going back up. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay sales tax out of town, you are helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with our holiday weather report.
Thank you, Tom. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center is forecasting a risk of a severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail from the Gulf Coast to the Great Lakes on Wednesday. The greatest threat will be across the Mid-South from eastern Arkansas and northern Mississippi to southern Illinois, where a moderate risk of severe thunderstorms is in place. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas is 72, Georgia is 63, Arkansas is 64, northern Texas at 65, Arizona is 62, and Los Angeles at 64. And for us locally, tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 30, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, a 30% chance of rain, partly sunny with a high near 55, west-southwest wind 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. Thursday night, a 30% chance of rain and snow showers, mostly cloudy with a low around 33, southwest wind 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 35. And your forecast for Christmas Day, a 20% chance of rain and snow showers, mostly sunny with a high near 49, west wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 27, north-northwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 20. Saturday, sunny with a high near 48. North wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 25. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 24. North-northeast wind 15 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 25. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 49. Northeast wind 5 to 10 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 15. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 27. Southeast wind 5 miles per hour. And finally, Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 52, with a calm wind. And that's your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
So that's the news for us today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. As a programming note, to allow our staff to have a Merry Christmas, the KZGN News team will be off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. There will be special showings that they'll be putting on. Shannon and I both believe this is a time to be spent with family and friends. We have family in from out of town to join us for this celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. All of us want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, especially all our service men and women serving in the armed forces. We salute all of those fine men and women doing their duty for our country, and wish their families at home a Merry Christmas as well. And to all of you, God bless, stay safe, and God bless America. And to mine and Shannon's family that traveled here to celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and to everyone.